Terve, YouTube. Lonesesta täällä taas jälleen kerran. Ja joo, aion jatkaa taas sitä kuvaamista vähän eteenpäin. Tämän päivän aiheena on vähän tämmönen random video nimeltään Pinkie Tales. Ja kaikki varmaan tajuu, mitä Pinkie Tales tarkoittaa, eli jonkun Pinkin tarinatuokio. Mä löysin tämän pätkän YouTubesta ja ajattelin, että what the fuck not? Voisin sitä kokeilla, miltä tää näyttää. Tää on joku fanitekoinen kait. Niin en tiedä tästä sitten yhtään mitään. Latasin tämän vasta koneelle jonkin aikaa sitten ja tää on aika uusi. Eikä se varmaan alkuun tarvitse muuta sanoakaan, mutta kuin että katsotaan miltä tuntuu tää video. Ja jos mun facecam on liian iso, niin ei kai se pitäisi haittaa mitään. Okei, tää on siis vähän niinku JAAKKO ja Papuvaarasta kertova tarina sitten, mut Applejack in the Beanstalk.
It's a good one! It's all about this pony, and this plant, and this huge... Well, I'll just get to it.
Tää Pinkin ääni näyttää aika mielenkiintoinen.
In a kingdom far away, there lived a poor farmer named Applejack.
Poor farmer, joo, aika surullinen.
Apples, it was a common misconception.
Wait! Misconception is quite a big word. You could just say incorrect. That's a big word too. Mistake? Bobo?
Thank you, Pinkie.
Sä itse oot kerran kirjoittanut ton tarinan, niin...
Sparkle were in fact cotton farmers. And as every pony knows, clothing for ponies is an unnecessary luxury. Especially in hard times like these.
Eli toisin sanoen tämä on hänen äitinsä
They were
nimeltä vai?
suffering financially.
Why don't you just say that they needed bets?
That's what it means, Pinkie.
Oh, carry on then.
Times were
Pinkie
so
osaa aina
hard
häiritä
in fact,
kaikki.
that Mrs. Sparkle and her daughter only had one last thing to their name. A cow named Rainbowvine.
Miten?
I get it! Because a bovine is another word for a cow.
Rainbows on lehmä. Se vitsi varmaan tuli kaikille selväksi.
On the day that Mrs. Sparkle and her daughter had finished the last
Ai
of their
jumalauta.
bread, she turned to her daughter and
Jos
said,
taas ollut rarity, mä olisin vielä ymmärtänyt
Let's go
se.
into town and
Koska
sell
rarity
our
cow,
cow
joo.
for some bits, or we will surely starve.
Our cow? You mean Rainbow?
Don't dawdle, Applejack, and don't stop for anything on your way,
Voi
except no less
vittu.
than 10 bits.
Ääni näyttää ollut helvetin
So
kivaa.
with Rainbowvine in tow, Applejack made her way along the worn path towards town.
Moo!
Joo.
So is that all you can say then?
Moo?
Well, howdy there, and hello to you,
Eh.
traveler.
A smooth-talking sales pony and his brother said, approaching Applejack with friendly yet somehow still sinister smiles.
Let me guess. You're interested in the cow.
Mighty fine beast you got there. If you're looking to sell, I'm sure we could take it off your hooves for, say, 5 bits.
5 bits? Aren't you supposed to be tricking me into selling her for some magic beans?
Magic beans?
One of the brothers said, then turned to the other.
Why, of course we have ourselves some magic beans. Magic to its finest.
The other brother
Eikö se pitänyt just mennä toisinpäin? Että se piti rahaan vaihtaa eikä
And we
papuihin.
wouldn't part with
Ja se on
them
mennyt se
for just
väärinpäin.
anything.
Do we gotta trade or what?
Deal.
Really? I mean, moo!
Before another word could be said,
Onks Rainbow tässä niinku mukana tässä tarinassa silleen niinku tunnelmaa luomassa? Se on vaan helvetin hauskaa.
They're supposed to be magic beans.
Yes, of course, Pinkie. 3 lousy and magical beans.
Better.
When
Ai.
Applejack proudly presented the beans to her mother, however, Mrs. Sparkle was far less than pleased.
Beans? Beans? I sent you into town for bits, not beans. We cannot live on 3
No näyttäähän
bits,
joltain
Applejack.
karkilta, kun on tulee eri värisiä.
I'm just doing what's supposed to be done, and I know for a fact this story has the cow traded for beans.
Worthless!
Mrs. Sparkle exclaimed, tossing the beans for
Ei niin joo, se oli muistanut se tarinan väärin,
Well,
niin se...
maybe you could use your alicorn magic to make them into magic beans.
I don't know what you're talking about. There's no such thing as magic beans. End of story. Now off to bed with you. I will have to come up with another plan to get food in this house.
What Mrs. Sparkle
Pelto.
didn't know was that the beans
Kasvattakaa
she
ruokaa
had
itse.
unknowingly planted
Niinhän se ennenkin
were
tehtiin.
in fact magical, and by the full moon's light, they took root in the hard soil and sprung up into a beanstalk that soared into the sky and pierced through clouds. When morning finally came, Applejack and her mother gazed in awe at the beanstalk, letting their imaginations run wild with the possibilities of where it would lead.
Maybe
Eikö se tarina pitänyt muuten mennä silleen, että yöllä toi poika kiipee sitä pavunvartta pitkin, ja kun aamulla äiti herää, niin se pavunvarsi ei ole enää ollenkaan olemassa. Sitten se miettii, että mistä ne kaikki kulta on tullut.
Please
mä
be
tiedä.
careful, my daughter.
Mrs. Sparkle said, embracing Applejack one final time before Applejack began the climb.
Honestly, the least these storytellers could do is write in a proper challenge. What, do they think I can't climb a beanstalk on my own?
Applejack
Se on aika
answered
pitkä matka
just
ylös, jos
before
mietitään,
she broke through
missä
the cloud
kohtaa on
cover.
pilvien korkeus.
Well, that was fast.
Applejack added, taking a look around.
No ei kun
and
pilvet ei
discovering
nyt
an
kovin
entire
korkealla
world
varmaan
above the
olekaan.
clouds that no pony would have ever dreamed.
Wait, am I expected to walk on this here cloud? I'm still just an earth pony, you know. Can't do that sort of thing without
Makes
cloud
sense.
magic. Oh well.
Applejack took a wary step onto the cloud and found, much to her surprise, that it was firm as solid ground. She wandered away from the beanstalk and took note of the strange plants, which seemed far larger than those back in Equestria. Even the blades of grass
toi
could tower
piparkakkutalo.
over her in some places.
Kyllä,
After wandering for a
milloin
few
tää
minutes,
muuttui
Applejack
Hannu
came
ja
upon a
Kerttu
giant
tarinaksi?
building, and her eyes widened
Mä en taju
as she
enää.
beheld it.
Tuo on ihan piparkakkutalon näköinen, vaikka nyt ei nyt
It's
ruskea
a
piparkakkutalo,
giant
vaan enemmänkin täynnä jotain kermaa.
Gee, I wonder who could possibly live in a giant bakery in the sky.
Semmoinen, joka tykkää siitä.
She knew that bakeries had all manner of wonderful things to eat, and that perhaps this was the answer to all of her problems. Without so much as a knock, Applejack easily slipped under the giant bakery's door and craned her neck up to see shelves upon shelves of wonderful things to eat. There were pastries, creams, pies, cakes, donuts,
Siinä on kyllä aika iso
and
kakku.
loaves
Jos
of
ottaisi tuon
delicious
ison kakun,
bread
niin se olisi
for as far as
metti
she
pois
could
asukki
see.
jopa siinä kakussa.
The only problem was that each of these delectable goodies were too high to reach and too heavy to lift and bring back home. While she pondered her predicament, Applejack could hear a faint tooting sound coming from somewhere on the table nearby. She wandered closer, the sound becoming progressively louder as she did so. It reminded her of the sound of a tuba, intermingled with the sound
Meneekö tää nyt
of
vähän
the
sillä
wind?
tavalla, että kun
When
Applejack
she
on tuolla,
reached one of the
niin
legs
sitten
of the
tää
table, she
jättiläinen niin haluaa seuraa
look!
tuonne, kun se on yksinäinen.
Another conveniently placed
I
spiral
don't
ramp
know.
leading from the floor to the
Arvaile
table.
vaan.
How totally unexpected.
Applejack climbed the leg of the table, and once she reached the top, she saw an array of wonderful sugary things to eat. There were jellies as tall as buildings, and pies as wide as farmland, cakes as deep as ravines, and all manner of candies scattered about in a chaotic fashion.
Millä sä oot
She
tehnyt
was
muuten
so
noin?
overtaken
Onko sulla oma
by the
farmi
sight
jossain
that
myös
she nearly
itsellä?
forgot the reason she had climbed in the first place. It wasn't until she heard another loud and out-of-tune tuba toot that she continued her pursuit of the sound. When she turned the corner, Applejack saw what she believed was just a regular tuba slumped against a piece of
Regular
bare
tuba.
earth.
Mitä
What she
vittua
didn't
rariti?
realize was that the tuba
Mitä
itself
sille on
was moving and
tapahtunut?
sobbing as it made its off-key noises.
Everything all right there, miss?
Ah, Toot! Oh, don't start me like that, darling. I hate tooting in front of guests.
Are you supposed to be a magical talking tuba?
Yes. Oh, woe is me. Toot!
I
Tuba.
thought you were supposed to be a harp. Isn't it a magical singing harp?
Niin, ite vähän mietin, kun se soitin oli harppu. Nyt se on kuin vittun tuuba.
But instead, I am stuck as a dreadful tuba making all kinds of terrible toot noises. Oh, but where
Toot
are the
noises.
manners? Hello,
Hello there, young traveler. I am Raritute.
Very too.
Yes, really. And I am dreadfully sorrowful. Well, go on. Ask me why
Tuleeko
I'm
se
sorrowful.
Rainbow Flame tarpeeksi?
Why are you sorry?
Because I am a captive in this dreadful place, forced to play music, party music, for the wicked giant's many parties. Toot. I would rather be playing classical pieces and sounding as light as a lute, but no.
Captured.
I am stuck with
Siepattu.
such
Miten
foolish
tuuban voi
and
varastaa,
dance
jos se on
now,
puhuva?
and the tuba rendition of the Macarena.
Raritute cried, and with each sob, she let out another dreadful tooting sound. Applejack winced at the sound and covered her ears. At this point, she would say anything to make the awful noises stop.
Well, how's about I help you escape then?
You would do that for me? Oh, how wonderful!
Eikö se muka pysty liikkumaan? No, se on tuuba, se on ymmärrettävää joo, mutta miksi se on noin pieni?
Whoa now, wait.
On varmaan aika jättiläisen vähän vaikea suositella niinku,
I
me mentiin
never said you could come home with me.
tajuatte se aina niinku tämmönen tuuba.
Oh, Toot. Oh, Toot. You simply must take me with you.
I don't know.
I can surely make it worth your while, darling.
And how's that?
I know of a magical tree that the giant keeps, which bears fruit of the golden apple. Each one 24 carats at least. They're mighty delicious, darling, if used the right
Golden
way.
Apple. Menikö tää Minecraftin
Of course,
puolelle?
they could be sold for profit too if you so desired.
Golden apples! So that's why I've been led here. Show me the way, Raritute.
And then I can come with you?
Sure, why not? I can shove the golden apples in my ears.
Niin kato,
Try
kun
not to-
ei se voi hypätä
Oh, this is
alas tuolta
perfectly
pilvistä.
marvelous. Toot.
Could you try not to do that, please?
I'll do my best, darling, but I am a tuba after all. It's in my nature.
Se on minun... No itse asiassa kyllä joo. Mut ei tuubasta voi lähteä ääntä, jos ei joku puhalla siihen niin sanottuun reikään.
Applejack followed after Raritute. Her interest had certainly been piqued. Why would taking a bite of food be so wrong? At first,
Tuon tuuban
it was
suaukko
an easier
vaihtui
quest to
puolta.
follow, but with each new delicious treat after another, they became more and more tempting. It seemed to Applejack that each new dessert was better than the last, and her stomach grumbled each time she avoided taking a bite. She hadn't eaten since the day before, and even then it was a meager meal at best. Still,
Okei.
Applejack did as Raritute had advised.
No ei itse asiassa tommonen pieni...
Until she caught sight of the most amazing dessert she had ever seen and smelled.
What is that?
Apple pie.
Why, it's a golden apple pie, of course. Made from the apples of the tree we
Golden Apple! Olin aika lähellä.
Golden apple.
Applejack trailed off. Her hooves
Eiks teidän pitänyt saada rahaa, miltä ostatte ruokaa, eikä...
Here we are, darling.
Missä on se muniva hanhikin vielä?
Wait, what are you doing? Toot!
Raritute screamed with a loud toot of distress. Applejack had wandered over to the pie, her eyes transfixed on its golden filling. Her mouth watered, and her stomach grumbled loudly. And though
Ai se oli
she
hänen,
found
vaikka mä
Raritute
se
annoying and loud
jättiläinen
warnings
murisee,
not
vai
to,
onks mä nyt taas väärässä?
Applejack leaned in and took a bite. It was the most amazing pie she had ever tasted, and she buried her face into the pie for another bite. Without missing a beat, the giant door burst open, scaring Applejack so much that she leaped into the golden pie to hide. Standing at the door with a large grin
Kannattaa.
on her face was none other than Pinkie the giant.
Pinkie the Giant.
Who dares steal a bite from my tasty pastry?
Pinkie the giant bounced from the door to the table, causing the room to
Poppi ovelle.
quake as if the earth itself was moving.
Tää on niinku
Raritute
oudoin
screamed
Giant
and
ikinä.
ducked behind a large piece of cake, while Applejack struggled to keep her hat on her head, as the golden apple pie bounced up and down on the tabletop.
All clear here.
Pinkie the giant said, as she inspected a cupcake on the opposite end of the table.
Cupcake mainittu.
Nothing wrong here. Or here.
She examined each pastry, picking up one at a time, looking for any little missing pieces or nibbles. Applejack frantically poked her head out of the pie and looked for a new hiding place. She saw Raritoot giving her a nasty glare, and then she noticed the tree that she had been searching for. It was no more than 50 yards from the pie, with a yellow trunk and light pink leaves, and on each of the many branches hung a bright golden apple.
Okei.
Although the room was shaking with every bounce from the giant, Applejack could have sworn she saw the tree shaking in fear all on its own.
Ah, my prized pie!
Pinkie exclaimed, pulling the golden apple pie to her
Kohta
nose
menee
to
kokonaan
smell.
toi paisuuhueeksi mekki.
Applejack shouted,
Whoa!
falling with a splat back into the pie.
What? My pie can talk?
Pinkie cried, dropping the pie onto the table and causing many other desserts to fall over.
Oh, say something else, oh magical deliciousness!
Applejack coughed and popped her head out of the pie, gasping for air before she met the gaze of the rather disappointed giant.
Aw, you're not a talking pie at all. You're just a pie thief.
Pinkie
Pie
the giant
teeth.
said, reaching down
Piirros
with her hook,
varas.
scooping Applejack out of the pie. Applejack was barely able to grab her hat in time and cringed when she put its wet stickiness back on her head.
Who are you? And what do you want with my desserts?
You don't know who I am, Pinkie?
Of course I don't, Applejack. This is the first time I've ever seen you before.
Of course, Applejack.
It doesn't matter anyway. File for great
Nyt joku pilaa tämän
and now
tarinan
you
taas.
must pay. Tuba,
Yes, Miss Giant?
play me a tune. An old western kind of tune. Seeing this pony in a hat gives me a great idea.
Before Applejack could
Niin kuin
wonder
minkä-
what Pinkie the giant could possibly be planning, she found herself in another corner of the bakery where a collection of pony-sized toys strewn about the countertop. Within a flash,
Okay.
Applejack was redressed in cow pony boots, a white hat, and a vest where a cheap but golden sheriff star was pinned. While Applejack tried to figure out how she could be dressed so quickly, Pinkie the giant had set up an entire old western scene complete with shops, desert sand, and an old
Eli sitä
railroad
Villännen meininkiä.
What's this here setup all about?
Applejack asked, attempting to take her hat off. Of course, Pinkie the giant was having none of that. She readjusted the hat on Applejack's head. She picked up a little purple alicorn toy dressed in a similar designed black outfit and a crudely drawn black mustache.
Ha ha ha! We meet again, Sheriff Applebottom. You can never
Applebottom.
stop me or my evil plan.
Are we really doing this, Pinkie?
Quiet! Don't you want to know what my plan is?
What nefarious plan have you concocted, Pinkie?
Pinkie? Who is this Pinkie? I am Midnight Moonshine, the unwanted outlaw.
No, itekään en menisi mihinkään tämmöiseen, vaan vaan silleen, että
You do
Fucked
realize
up.
that's another name for...
Ah, help me, Sheriff Applebottom.
Pinkie said,
Sheriff
speaking for a different toy on the playset. This was a white unicorn mare with a deep purple mane that was tied crudely to the train track with a piece of giant yarn.
Ha ha ha! Save her if you can, Applebottom. And while you do, I will rob the cookie bank. No pony can stop me.
Cookie Bank.
Applejack looked
Keksipankki.
from Pinkie to the
Oh,
toys that were
semmoinenkin
roughly her
keksitty.
size.
I don't have time for this.
Pinkie lowered her head and rested it on the table, looking Applejack in the eye, glaring darkly.
What did you say?
I said, fret not, miss.
Rarity.
Oh, so we're not changing her name then?
Nothing else fit right.
From across the way, Raritoot made an unimpressed tooting sound.
Toot.
Miss Rarity then. I shall save you.
Applejack sauntered towards the Rarity doll. It too was dressed for the part, wearing a red frilly gown and a hat that she was sure that real Rarity would never dare to wear. She bit
Totta.
down on the yarn
Rarity
and
pitäisi
pulled,
punasta.
wondering what the catch was. That was, of course, when Applejack caught sight of a toy train heading her way.
Hurry, Miss Applebottom.
Really?
Hurry. Hurry. Hurry.
I'm sorry and I'm doing my best.
Pinkie screamed in place of the Rarity doll, just as Applejack pulled it free. The toy train sped by and straight off the counter, landing with a crash on the unforgiving ground below.
Tästä tulee aika mielenkiintoinen
This did not
story,
seem
jos
to
ei joku ole
deter
huomannut
Pinkie
jo.
as she cheered for the doll.
Oh, Applebottom, you're my hero.
I sure am, Pink Rarity. Are we, done now?
Done? We've only just begun.
Pinkie the Giant exclaimed, motioning to the cupboard behind her to show Applejack the many hundreds of outfits and playsets she had stored away for playtime. The pit of Applejack's stomach dropped, and her eyes widened, imagining the horrors that were to come.
But I do have to take an teensy-weensy break to finish baking all the goodies for the party. Giant Gummy's cake must be perfect.
Giant
Pinkie the
Gummy.
Giant said, swooping Applejack up with one swipe of her hoof. She hummed merrily to herself as she placed Applejack on the shelf in the play cupboard, as if she were now one of the many toys Pinkie had collected. As Pinkie closed the cupboard door, Applejack quickly pushed her hat in the way of the lock. Pinkie the Giant turned the key and bounced away, assuming that she had successfully locked Applejack inside. From the table below, Rarity
Eikö se mahtuisi
caught sight of
avaimenreiästä
Applejack's
ulos?
trick and intended to use her music to aid in her escape. She turned her attention to Pinkie the Giant, tooting as she hobbled towards her.
Might I play you a tune while you cook your delicacies?
Oh, a happy working song?
No, Pinkie. Disney claimed the rights to that one.
Aww.
Perhaps something soothing.
Ok.
Rarity offered, trying her best to play a tune to lull the giant to sleep, a hard task to do when you're a tuba. Of course, as it is with these sorts of fairy tales, Pinkie the Giant was helpless to Rarity's song.
Tuo
She
niin
set
sanottu
down her giant baking sheet of
puhallusaukko on
cookies
niin sanotusti
and
hänen
rested her head on
käteensä,
the table.
niin sanotusti. Mä tajusin
After a
just
few
äsken.
minutes of silence, Applejack could hear her soft snores. She struggled a little at first to pull her hat free, then bucked the wood of the door to open it. Being careful not to make a sound, Applejack leapt from the cupboard and onto the countertop, securing her hat back onto her head. She looked to the door and almost ran to safety when she remembered the delicious golden apples. She thought perhaps if the giant slept long enough, she could take the tree for herself.
Whoa, hang on a sec. Applejack wouldn't steal.
Pinkie, you're supposed to be asleep.
Oh, right.
Applejack crept along the countertop, hopping from saucepan to baking sheet, making her way back towards the table. At long last, she reached the golden apple tree, marveling at the delicious fruit.
Aika
that
pieni
grew.
apple tree.
Maybe
Jos oikein
I could
sanotaan.
have just one.
Applejack said, turning around to buck the bark of the tree and cause an apple to fall.
Oh, if you don't mind, I would rather you didn't do that.
Mitä vittua?
Are you a tree?
Who is Fluttershy?
Ei jumalauta!
Well, then.
Jos joku
who
muistaa
are you?
sen lauseen I want to
Tree.
be a tree.
Of course.
Oliko se I like to
Of
be a
course
tree?
they're called Flutter Tree.
Mikä tässä on niin hauska juttu? Fluttershy on
Flutter
puu.
Tree, would you be
Flutter
so kind
Tree.
as to allow me to take you home with me?
Säihkypuu,
I don't
koska säihkykaino on
know. It's not
Fluttershy.
very nice.
Siis oikeasti se oli suomenkielisessä
I
versiossa
don't really
tän
like
niminen.
it here, but it would be so sad if the giant woke up and her tree was missing.
What does Flutter Tree want?
Well, will there be little animals where you live?
I live on a farm. Little critters are always wandering about.
Oh, like little pigs and cows and chickens? Maybe even some songbirds.
Lehmät loppuu, koska...
Something
Joo.
like that. So, what do you say?
Oh, all right. I'll come with you. But how do you expect to carry me away all on your own?
I figured I'd use the conveniently placed wagon about 10 feet from where I'm standing.
Niin, koska tässä on noin kärryt
Applejack
vieressä.
said, tilting her head to the
Miten
side
se saa ne
to
alas
indicate
tuolta?
to
Se on
the
yksi
little red
kysymys.
wagon waiting behind Fluttertree.
I guess all them ramps make sense now. Can't wheel you out of here without them.
Applejack pushed Fluttertree towards the wagon, and then used every ounce of her strength to lift it into place. As she strained and groaned under the weight of the tree, one of the golden apples shook loose and plopped right onto her head.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Applejack merely shook her head and picked up the apple that had fallen. She rubbed it on her vest before taking a mouth-watering bite.
We're gonna be the talk of the town once I get these here apples home. No pony will be able to resist them, and our money troubles will be over.
Applejack declared, finishing the apple with a satisfied smirk. She took the handle of the wagon in her mouth and carefully pulled it along the tabletop as far from the sleeping giant as she could. From the corner of her eye, Raritoot could see Applejack and Fluttertree nearing the edge of the table, where the ramp around the leg would take them safely down. She gasped in horror, thinking that Applejack had forgotten her promise to take her along. She hurried across the table towards them, each hop making a toot sound. The more frantically she hopped, the louder and off-key the toots became.
Shh! Shh! Can't you keep that racket down?
You forgot me? Toot! After all I've done for you, and you were just going to leave me here?
Shh! I was not! I was gonna get this here tree to the floor first and then come back for you, I swear!
A likely story. Toot! You didn't even want to go with me in the first place. Why would you want a useless, ugly old tuba lying around the house?
Miksi et ite mene sinne pavun varteen ja kävele siltä alas? Ei se nyt niin hankalaa voi olla, vaikka oletkin tuuba.
Wake up and...
It's always about that silly old tree.
Sinä tuuba paska. Ei, kaikki varmaan tajusta.
Delicious. What an amazing tree. Such a magical wonder. I bet it's the rarest fruit ever grown.
Raritoot!
No!
Raritoot shouted, letting out a loud toot as she did so. Applejack put a hoof to her face and closed her eyes as she heard the unwelcome sound of the giant waking up.
I never ordered that bungee jumping equipment! I mean, what's going on here? Hey, where's my tuba? My golden apple tree!
Run!
Applejack shouted, wheeling Fluttertree down the leg of the table and towards the door.
Wait for me!
Raritoot objected, bumping into a large cupcake as she pursued Applejack. The cupcake teetered on the edge of the table before landing with a splat mere inches from Fluttertree. Applejack smeared some of the splattered frosting from her face with disdain before continuing towards the opened door.
I left the door open?
Yes, Pinkie, it's called a plot device.
I left the door
Very
open?
smart of me.
No, on kyllä nyt niin suuri väli.
Get away with my stuff!
That's the point, Pinkie.
Oh, okay, you can continue.
Pinkie the Giant listened for the toots of her tuba until she spotted them making their exit. She growled and raced for the door ahead of them. Before she could make it, however, Pinkie stepped down on the fallen cupcake and slid from one end of the room to the other, colliding into a wall.
Ai,
I'm okay.
just.
Applejack, Raritoot, and Fluttertree made their way outside towards the beanstalk. Pinkie the Giant was on their tail, and Raritoot screamed a toot so loudly in panic that Applejack's ears went flat against her head.
Could you stop that? We're trying to make our escape here.
Get back here, thief! Even if it is uncharacteristic that you would be stealing anything, we're going
Eikö
to...
tästä muuten tämmöisestä samanlaista asiasta, että se on oikea elokuva, että ne jättiläiset tuli maahan ja
Applejack bucked Raritoot
söi
up
kaikki
into the
ihmiset
wagon,
suurin piirtein melkein.
alongside
Jotain sellaista.
Fluttertree, then got
Eikö sellainen
behind
leffa
the wagon
tehty
and pushed
muistaakseni?
it.
What are you doing?
Hang on, Miss Tuba. We're in for a ride.
Miss
Applejack
Tuba.
said, pushing the wagon onto the beanstalk and then hopping into it herself. With a loud,
Ovalaa.
Ow!
the three of them rolled down the beanstalk ramp, Raritoot screaming the entire way down. Mrs. Sparkle had waited half the day for her daughter to return. She looked up at the beanstalk curiously when she heard a strange sound of a screaming tuba. Much to her surprise, Applejack and her two new companions rolled off the beanstalk, missing the house to land in the dead cotton fields.
Twilight! The axe! Quick!
From the clouds above, Pinkie the Giant waited at the top of the beanstalk and watched Applejack make her descent. Hold on. Why are you waiting, Pinkie? Shouldn't you be pursuing them?
Oh, that would be silly. I'm a giant and I could have caught up to them in 2 bounces. Not to mention I could
Makes
go
sense.
much faster than a rolling wagon before she even had a chance to find
So you're just going to wait here for her?
Yep. It's a pretty big plot hole in the original story, if you ask me.
Once Applejack's axe began chipping away at the beanstalk, Pinkie the Giant resumed her chase, sliding down the beanstalk like it was a fire pony pole.
Fire pony, onko se niinku fireman, niin kuin englanniksi
Applejack's axe
sanotaan.
had cut clean into the beanstalk, and the entire plant toppled to the ground. Pinkie the Giant was a few feet from the ground when she suddenly stopped in midair and righted herself, landing softly on her hooves.
I'm like a cat, always landing on my paws. Hooves.
Except you slipped on a cupcake 2 minutes ago.
We don't talk about that!
Once on the ground, Pinkie the Giant
sä
spotted
kaadut
the only
cupcakea.
living creature in sight. It was a brightly colored cow with rainbow hair. She shook on her hooves when she looked up at the giant, too shocked to run.
Oh my goodness! It's a rainbow vine! I bet I can get her to milk me
Mikä?
rainbow milk too! Bet I can make rainbow butter, rainbow cake, rainbow pudding.
Pinkie the Giant leaned
Oot sä
down
varma,
and
että
scooped
siitä
up the cow.
lehmästä tulee...
Who needs some crummy old golden apples anyway? This is so much better!
Pinkie the Giant grabbed a tuft of cloud passing by and fashioned it into a flight of stairs. She hummed a merry tune to herself as she bounced back up to her home in the sky, drowning out the frantic mooing of rainbow.
Kuinka se vitu pavuvarsi katkes?
Meanwhile,
Just.
Applejack and her mother delighted in their new flutter tree, picking the golden apples that would magically appear once the fruit had been picked. With the seeds from the apples, they replanted their dead fields until an entire orchard of flutter trees sprang up from the ground.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Did I hit your branch? Oh, pardon me. I'm sorry. Could you take a few hops to the left, please?
Aivan kaameen veteli tuolla.
My roots. Oh, my bad. Oh, look, a little blue jay. Where? Oh, these animals are so cute. Oh,
Se oikeesti varmaan ihan kaameen veteli, kun on iso mettällinen puhuvia puita silleen. Shut up!
oh, pardon me. My bad. Look, a little cute animal.
Mitä mä just äsken sanoin?
Oh, sorry. Pardon me. So sad.
Oi luoja.
Raritoot spent her time playing songs for Applejack and Mrs. Sparkle as they harvested their new crop, whether they liked it or not. And with the money they earned making golden apple products, they were finally able to pay off their debts and live a comfortable life.
The end. Good night, Pound. Good night, Pumpkin. Sweet dreams, my little ponies. And a
Hän
good
sanoi
night
sen.
to you too out there. Hope to see you next time for some more Pinkie Tales.
Joo. Tässä nyt näköjään sitten oli tämä Applejack in the Beanstalk. No, tää oli sitä peruskauraa. Lähellä sitä oikeata tarinaa, vaikka vähän sellaista niin sanottu huumoritarkoitukseen lisättyjä juttuja, mutta parhaan juttu tässä oli tää Flutter Tree ja tää saakeli Rainbow Cow. Kyllä niillä on hauskaa ollut varmaan tätä tehdessä. Ja jos puhutaan ääninäyttelyn tasosta, niin ei mitään vikaa. Ja toimii hyvin, kun ääninäyttelijät osaa hommansa. Varsinkin toi Pinkin ääninäyttelijä osasi erittäin hyvin. Mut hei, tässä oli taas yksi tämmönen random reaktiovideo jostakin randomista videosta. Mut toivottavasti tää nyt oli teidän mielestä hauska. Mä heitän tän videon linkin siitä tuonne descriptioniin, niin voitte käydä kattoo sen vaikka itse tai jotain yksin tai silleen, niin näin. Ihan sama. Mut se on mun puolesta, että nähdään taas seuraavan videon parissa. Hei hei. Hei, Lonen täällä. Mitä pidit videostani? Jätäpä siitä vaikka kommenttia, sillä sitä on aina kiva saada. Ja jos olet uusi, tilaappa kanavani, se tekisi mun päivästäni jälleen kerran taas onnellisemman. No, mulle ei tässä ollut mitään muuta, että se oli Lone Wolf Feed ja me nähdään seuraavien videoiden parissa ja se on morjesta, moi!